Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're here in sunny Edinburgh. With me I've got John Thain. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm a bit cold, but it's alright. It looks colder than what it is, but I will.
Definitely. The sun is shining, but it's absolutely freezing. But it's all good, it's all good. We done this last week, an interview, but obviously the sound went for some reason, so let's just cut to the nitty gritty. You've been training down in London now, down at the Raptors gym. How's that been for you?
It's been fantastic. It's been a great sort of experience for me because after my last fight I knew that I needed to change, but it was, and towards like about a year ago, towards the end of last year, I knew I needed to find a new trainer because it was, the chance for me was to start again somewhere fresh, because that's what I knew I needed anyway. But I needed that, and found Raptors towards the end of last year. It all started with like me commentating on a fight, getting to commentate on that, and then speaking to MTK personally, which was like, made a big difference. They set up a training camp in Raptors for a few days, and then I got a chance to train with Angel Fernandez for a few days. That was really good. He gave me his time, which I'll always be grateful for.
That's all you can really ask for, eh? And
well, that's the thing, and that's why I said it at the time, is if someone gives you their time, they're giving you something they're not going to get back. And that allowed me also to meet Wayne Dudley, who owns the gym. It's his gym, Raptors, and he's a great guy. I'm so glad I've got a chance to meet him and work with him. It's been such a great year in terms of, like, although there's nothing to show for it materially, there's probably it wouldn't look like it's been worth it, but for me, emotionally and technically, as a boxer, it feels like it's been a great time, and it's time to have something to show for it.
Definitely. You're sort of like I said to you before, like, you're probably one of the nicest guy, if not the nicest guy I've met in boxing. So, but to see you on Twitter calling people out, even though you're doing it in the John Thain way, you're doing accents, you're doing impressions and that, like, is that what you want now? You want the bigger fights now? You obviously 147, 154 is your weight range, but you're called out like guys like Conor Benn and stuff like that at 147. Is 147 easy for you to make?
It's the truth is it's more doable if I'm training full time, like completely. If I'm not working, it's just like, you know, it's just part of the job. It's just one of those things. Every fighter knows it. If you're not familiar with boxing, that you kind of have two fights, you know, or three fights when you think about it. You've got your actual fight, you've got the fight to prepare and get yourself ready, which takes a lot because you have to push yourself to the limits, and then you've got to get your weight and your nutrition, everything's got to be on point, like to perform at your best, to the best of your abilities on fight night. So it's good for me. I know that I'm a big welterweight, but that's an advantage. I want to use it. That's the thing.
I've got to say as well, like, you've lost 4 times, but I think I said to you as well, I've said it to you many times before, is the 4 losses that you've had have not been to the point where you've been completely outclassed, outboxed. They've all been very, 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 very close fights, all the way from home as well. Do you know what I mean? So do you feel like you still have a lot to give to this sport, being like, obviously the inactivity as well? Do you feel like you can still produce the goods, so to speak?
I see the positives in what you're saying there. Thanks. You know, it's like, yeah, we lost, and that's the way that I saw it. Like, that's the point that I reached. And I could end things if I wanted to there. I could walk away from the sport, and I could know that I've given what I had at the time. Although it was insufficient, it was, you know, it was the best I had at that moment. But I'll always have that voice inside saying, you know what, go again. Go again, because you've put in all this time, all those sacrifices, all that time away from home. You gave up a lot of stuff. Go again. I'm not afraid of anybody. And that's like, sometimes it's like, we all think about things like the law of attraction and visualising success, but until you take any sort of action, I mean, there's no attraction without action. There's no you've got to put things out there, and for me to put things out there, that felt unfamiliar. That felt like something that I don't do. Like, I don't ask for fights. It's like picking fights. It's like in Braveheart where he says, I'm off to pick a fight. Like, John doesn't say that.
John doesn't do that.
But the thing is, the fighter in me wants those fights,
Yeah.
and it's not going to happen. Nothing happens until you actually put things out there, and that's what I was doing.
So why Conor Benn? Why call him up?
Well,
Big name, well, wait, is that...
That's exactly why.
Is that the reason?
that's probably why. I mean, like we boxing's about the characters in the sport. It's not, and the fights that can be made. Our styles, like I'd be the boxer, he'd obviously be the puncher. That's always a classic mix. That you put those. I mean, I don't think he would not take the fight. If I actually saw him and said, you want to box, he'd be like, yeah, let's go. I actually think he'd be like that. It's maybe it's the business side of the sport that maybe sees me as not a good option for him, and maybe it's like, yeah, the intellectual part of me is probably saying, oh well, you know, maybe they don't want to put you in with him because, you know, you're a loser, you're coming off defeats, you know, it's not an attractive fight. But the other part of me is like, you can take this guy, you can take this guy, and it's a great fight. People would enjoy it. People would enjoy the actual fight, and you know, you can win. That's what I'd be thinking. But yeah, it's that's the reason I put it out there, is because it's like I don't want to come back at a level where no one gets to see those fights. I want to be in great fights. I want lots of people to see them, and I want the rewards.
You talked about boxing, about the characters in the sports, in the sport, and in boxing, that's what it's all about. You do some characters. I've seen your impressions. You do them quite well. Not quite well. You do them very, very well, actually. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, John, if you don't mind, is I want you to
Get a shot.
do an impression of Nigel Benn, right? Telling his son Conor to fight John Thain. Do you want a minute to get into character?
I'd like to kind of get into character, because it's like, it's there. It's kind of. Because I did a Nigel Benn impression where I said to them, let's give the public what they want to see. Not people like fighting guys in 2 weeks' notice. Fight someone like me, who's been fighting all the time and who wants to have a fight with you. That's what I tried to say.
So let me ask Nigel then. Let me go back to Nigel. I said, Nigel, why should Conor fight John? What's so good? What makes this a good fight for Conor fighting somebody like John Thain?
He can test you, son. He can test you. He's a name. He's done it. He's been up there before. And he's a good name to have on your record, son.
Maybe I'll say it. Maybe I'll want the fight. But the thing is, it's like there's a fighter in all of us. There's a fighter in all of us, and I could maybe walk away from the sport, and you know, I'll never but the true failure, and maybe it'll look like to some people I've failed in the sport, that I've not actually achieved anything, and that's. You know, that's down to people's opinions, but the part of me it's always in me. It's like the fighter in me wants the opportunity, and the intellectual part of me is like, if there is an intellectual part of me, if there's a part of me, I didn't. But it's like we didn't expect that. That was a surprise. Yeah, but it's one of those things. I want to go for my dream, and I don't want to let that part go. And also, there is a fighter in me that says, you know what, let's go, let's do it.
Well, well, we had lunch together just then. We sat in my little vegan restaurant, because I'm vegan. And I mentioned the name that's probably more realistic for you rather than somebody like Conor Benn, because he's probably at a stage of his career now where, I don't know, he's probably wanting to push on for like the world titles and stuff like that in 2020. But what about somebody like Joseph Laws down in Newcastle? I mean, it's just down the road. He's making a little name for himself, Joe Laws. He's a little character, and you mentioned that you are a name for somebody on their record. So, and he wants a name. He's been calling out Conor Benn as well. So maybe somebody like you is that sort of step up that he needs. Would you like to face somebody like Joe Laws?
Why not? Why not? You're going to ask me to do the accent.
I'm going to ask you to do the Geordie accent.
You're going to ask me the Geordie accent, because actually, do you know the thing is, I like him. I think he's good, because he went, I was hungover. I was hungover. I was in Vegas, spawned Devin Haney. They asked us for 6 rounds at Mayweather's gym. That was like the way he said it.
Yeah.
And the guy's cut it short. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do it. He's quite right, but yeah. Want to fight John Thain?
He's a big name. John Thain's a big name.
John Thain, big name.
Sorry, Joe, if he's watching this, we're not taking the mick, mate, I promise you.
No, absolutely not. But it's not a fight I would say no to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good fight. You know, you've got him as a come forward. That's his style. He comes forward. he's always, and there's action guaranteed in those fights, and I'd be willing to bring it to. It's a fight I wouldn't say no to, because you know it opens doors for the winner. It's that, and you're in there. You're kind of, for me, I'm realistic, but I'm also a dreamer. So it's like, realistically, yeah, I'm a B-side fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a B-side fighter. No one's gonna give me like the 10-week camp. Like, it's not gonna be like this full-time thing. But the dreamer part of me is kind of like, well, keep training. You know, keep yourself in the gym. Opportunities will come to you, and you'll put it out there. Don't be afraid to put out what you want in life, because you know that's what you're in control of. You know, like, at least like that part of me. So realistically, yeah, bills need to be paid. So that's why I'm working.
Well, you drive the black cabs on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday night around Edinburgh.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not above working for my living. That's like, no one should ever think that way. It's kind of, it's not. It's realistic. We all have bills to pay.
Yeah.
And you know, I did actually take a chance. I was offered the chance to box in the Philippines, and that was like a fresh start for me. I was wanting, like, I obviously, I knew I needed a fresh start, and it was a chance for me to kind of.
You're obviously half Filipino on
Yeah.
your mother's side, aren't you? So that would have been some dream, wouldn't it?
And I did, yeah. Like, there's obviously that side where it's like, you know, I started to see the big picture. I was like going out to the Philippines, embracing that side of the family as well. I even asked my mum when she phoned me to speak in Filipino, like to actually, like, and we'll practice. And she said, you know, you're actually doing pretty good at this. I was like, well, I'm half Filipino. Mum is Filipino. It's like I was trying. I properly embraced it. I wanted to go out there, and that was the plan. I was going to go out there and start my career out there, build my profile, and it would have been a chance to be an A-side fighter out in the Philippines. Like, proper have notice, have full camps in General Santos, fights in Manila, ESPN. It was looking great. It was like, maybe that was the reason I went down to Sutton. All the things were starting. It was all starting to fit. Like, I was going down there for a couple of weeks, coming back to work, but I knew that if the fight was to be in October, I would have to be out there down in Sutton for about 6 weeks. So we took the chance. I took a punt on myself, really. I saved up a bit of money, and I spent a lot of time down there training, and the fight was meant to compensate for that, for all those like the nutrition that I'd kind of, you know, that was loaned to me, the rental and everything, every cost that comes with there's a cost to training for a fight, and the gamble didn't pay off. Like, it paid off in one sense where I became a really good boxer. Well, I think I've become a really good boxer. I think I'm the best boxer I've ever been. But also financially, it didn't. And it's like, I've got to clean up this mess. But it's my mess to clean. I own it. I'm accountable. I can't feel sorry for myself. I'm not above working for a living and building myself up from the ground. Like, I've got great support. And, you know, to the people that are closest to me, I would never have to box again, but there will always be that part of me that's like, you know what, go for your dream, because life's too short. That's exactly it. And a lot of people that we know that don't actually go after their dream, they accept the failure of it and they make excuses for it. They say, well, it didn't work out for me. It's like, well, did you really work for it? Did you really try? I don't think I could live with actually knowing that I've never tried, like, to the best of my ability. Those fights out there that can happen, like, you know, who would you want to see me fight against? You know,
me?
Conor, yeah.
You're actually asking me personally. You're asking me. I'm going to ask the question, John. I actually quite like the Joe Laws fight, because
it's good, isn't it?
He's making a name for himself, Joe. He's got a little. It's not a little following. He's got a huge following down in Newcastle.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be hated there for like that whole 5 week window.
I'm telling you right now, nobody can hate you, John.
There's
not a man on this planet that can hate you.
I'd have to walk in that ring with a Sunderland top or something.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Oh, that's the only way. Oh, they'd hate
way.
me. They'd be throwing. They'd be throwing things at me.
That's not
then
your nature.
it's all hugs at the end. It's like, oh, you know,
yeah,
like,
but that's not your
like,
nature.
I'd be like that. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, like that. Sorry.
Nah, you're too good a man to be wearing a Sunderland top in Newcastle. Because even I'll be worried.
That's
about
suicide.
You. That's suicide. I wouldn't want you to do that, mate. I like the Joe Laws fight.
Yeah.
I like that fight. I really do. Like I say, it's a name. You're a name. He needs somebody like you to fight him. Because I think he's 7-0, 8-0 now, Joe Laws. So he's building a nice little record. He's got a huge following down in Newcastle.
Profile's big.
Profile's massive, yes. So
I've given him credit for that as well, and it's just it's something that I never did. Like boxing is a business and it's a sport at the same time, and for me, like the sport is the part that you love. Everyone loves the sport. Everyone they love, the best fight the best. That's sport, and the business sometimes stops that from happening. That's the business side, and sometimes it was Harry Mullen. I was watching a documentary, and he says that the way that you package and you present yourself sometimes counts for a lot more than what's in the package. And so I built the package, but then I didn't build the profile enough.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking to fight guys that are high profile to build my own profile.
Definitely, and that's the way it works. Well, I won't keep you much longer, John, because my hand is freezing holding this monopod with this camera. But I'm going to do a little nice pan of our city. I don't know if anyone can see. That's Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle there. The winter. Is that a Chris Eubank? Go and tell him what Chris Eubank. Go on, do the Chris Eubank impression.
The Chris Eubank impression. See, I like the Chris Eubank impression when he was like proper, like when he first sort of came out. He went, "I'll do my talking. Like I'll fight him in the ring." But now it's kind of like it's the Warriors' code. The Warriors' code is to sit in the cold on the park bench on a winter Sunday is. That is definitely the Warriors.
How nice is Edinburgh, Chris?
Edinburgh is a beautiful city. Beautiful. It is stupendous. We were in a vegan restaurant and he offered me some vegan
burger. It means tofu.
Tofu. It was stupendous. It looked stupendous. There were no animal products of any nature
Definitely
at all.
Definitely not.
It was whole food, plant-based.
As well.
Flat white, aye.
Yeah, see? I got you, buddy. John, as always, thanks for this FL TV, and I will catch up with you soon, my friend. Always good to see you, and hopefully 2020 is the year for you, my man. Speak soon, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.